when Hope comes to town. Anytime you play Hope in any sport, it seems like it's just a little bit more meaningful. These two teams met just a week and a half ago in what turned into a classic. What can we expect tonight?
Well, that game a week and a half ago was the fourth largest attended game in Division III college basketball this year with 2,300 fans. Now, Hope averaging about 1,800 fans per game, and they put over 3,000 in there for their game in the rivalry against Calvin, which did not go so hot for Hope. But this is going to be a different atmosphere tonight, but I think it will be about as rowdy as you will see the Art Smith Arena this season for just the reasons that you talked about. When Hope comes to town, Alma comes out for the show, especially, just as you said, because Alma proved a week and a half ago that they are capable of hanging with a Hope team that was picked #1 in the MIAA. Perhaps has not had the season turn out exactly the way they had hoped for at 11-8. They've had some injuries along the way. They bring in some very dynamic players, though, and that's what won the day in the second half of that first matchup. But Alma's got some confidence after taking a 10-point lead into the break just a week and a half ago.
Well, that they do, and talking last Thursday, excuse me, to Coach Fitzpatrick, they want this one back so badly. They are excited to get this opportunity again. Feel like they're playing some better basketball, some of their best basketball of the season. Just have to convert the shots. They have to shoot at a higher percentage than what they've been. And, the rest will take care of itself. They're creating turnovers every game now, it seems. And it'll be very interesting to see how it comes out here tonight. Both of these teams going through the warm-ups right now, warming up the dunks. Both teams are putting on quite an exhibition at each end. Looks like a dunk contest out there right now.
Yes, it does. I feel like I need a paddle with a 10 on it, although I also needed a paddle with a 2 on it. There have been a couple at both ends. Oops, nope, that didn't work. But the atmosphere here, terrific. You talk about Alma kind of getting things put together last Saturday against Kalamazoo. Their second win against Kalamazoo, they get 27 points out of Landon Moore-Pierce. Take care of business at the end. Now, they let a 17-point lead almost get away. They won by 6, but Kalamazoo got back within 2. But they posted that victory, which was critical in the context of the MIAA standings. By getting to 2-6, Alma remains tied for that 6th spot. Now, technically, they are behind Adrian, who they lost to head-to-head, but they'll play Adrian again head-to-head here later this year. Alma's got to get into the top 6 if they want to make the MIAA tournament. Hope is kind of in a different spot as they're in no man's land, 2 games out of second for the opportunity to get a bye, a game ahead of Olivet, though, to make sure that they hold on to that 3 seed. Obviously, 3 or 4 plays at home in the first round, but perhaps a little bit harder for Hope to get up for this game against Alma, who, Calvin is the primary rival for Hope. Trine has the big numbers this year. Now, that'll be a question is, does Greg Mitchell have Hope ready? Obviously, the advantage he gets from that is all he's got to do is point back a week and a half on his calendar and say, hey, you remember what these guys did a week ago Saturday?
Yeah, Scott's led by 10 at halftime, 36-26. Hope didn't shoot the ball well in that ball game. Just 38.5%, 21% from downtown. Their saving grace was getting to the foul line 25 times and converting on 20 of them. Out-rebounded the Scots 49-42. That's not bad for Alma, frankly. But Alma shot the ball a little bit better in that one, 45%, 31% from downtown. But they only got to the line 3 times and converted 1. There's a 19-point difference at the foul line in that loss.
Well, and the other thing, those shooting stats are even a little bit misleading. What did you say Hope's game number was? 38?
It was 38.5.
Yeah. Well, remember, that's bolstered by a second half where they scored 57 points. It was ugly in the first half. And it was true lid on the basket type of situation for Hope until halftime when they finally got things rolling, got Evan Thomas going. Of course, Thomas, just the super-duper player that we've watched develop over the course of his career after making it to the state semifinals at Okemos, MIAA Player of the Year, All-American according to some rating services last season, continuing those numbers on again this year.
Well, and he had a double-double against the Scots, 20 points, 14 rebounds. Clayton Dykehouse, another excellent player, had a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds. And Gabe Quillen nearly had a double-double, 20 points, 9 boards.
Yeah, those top 3 really saved Hope in that game, rallying them back from the substantial halftime deficit when they only scored 26 in the first half. Hope, as we said, 11-8, 5-3 in the league, which, as we said, leaves them 2 games behind trying for second. So essentially, if they have any hope of getting that 2 seed, they've got to run the table.
Hope only turned the ball over 6 times in that game against the Scots, which is incredible against that Alma defense.
For a couple different reasons. Alma forcing 15 turnovers a game with that pressure that really frustrated Kalamazoo on Saturday. And Hope on the year, a bit of a turnover-prone team, turning it over 14 times a game themselves. So that was a very good performance, and I think a small bright spot in a game that they otherwise weren't terribly thrilled about. As we said, it's a Hope team that has had to deal with a lot of injuries. They've been down by 3 or 4 starters over the course of the game, or players that have started games that have then missed time subsequently to that. And that's the second year in a row that Coach Greg Mitchell has had to manage that. Didn't cause them a large problem last year when they went 22-7, made the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in Coach Mitchell's career, 12-2 in the MIAA. Starters for Hope tonight, we talked about Clayton Dykehouse, the game that he just had out of Zeeland East. Of course, his high school classmate Meg Morehouse on that powerhouse Hope women's team that won a national championship last year. Eli Schoonfeld, Tanner Wiegerink, and then Evan Thomas and Gabe Quillen down low. Thomas at 6'4", a senior with a career high of 36. Dealt with a finger injury earlier in the season, but he has been dynamite since his return through the entire MIAA season. For Alma, Landon Moore Pierce comes in off of 27, not a career high because he had a 33-point game against Grace Christian earlier this season. Tyshawn Walker, Alma's leading scorer on the year at the 15-point mark. Nate Diamond, 6.4 points per game, had 9 in the first matchup against Hope. Connor Riley had 8 points, 11 boards against the Flying Dutchman last time, comes in averaging just under 15 a game himself. And then Colton Meister, 3rd in the MIAA in blocks, 7.5 points per game, had 3 swats against the Dutchman a week and a half ago. Teams will go through the pregame pleasantries.
Already had a heck of a game here between Alma and Calvin on the women's side, and expect another one here between Alma and Hope.
Sure did. Calvin held on for what was eventually a 9-point victory. The game closer than that throughout, just a 1-point Calvin lead, even though the Knights ranked number 21 in women's basketball. And Alma's men will look to get over the hump that the women almost did here against Hope. Hope wins the opening tip, gets it down low to Quillen, and he drops it off. A driving Wiegerink, and now outside Dykehouse wants a 3, inside out, and Hope converts for an early 3. Ball moving a little awkward down the inside at first, but they get the kick out, and Dykehouse left wide open and makes Alma pay. First Scots possession now, ball in the hands of Landon Moore Pierce out of Flushing. Goes to the foul line, slings a pass to the left for Diamond, who's been trademarked for an early 3 in a number of games. This time he'll go cross court to Walker, who has it stripped as he drives in. Dykehouse got a hand on that one. 3-on-4 for Hope. Dykehouse to Schoonfeld, and now Thomas trailing the play, kept that toe behind the line, missed the 3 over the top. Wiegerink grabs the rebound and knocks it out of bounds off the Scots. Hope keeps the basketball.
Thomas was all alone for that triple try, couldn't get it down.
Dykehouse along the baseline to Quillen. Quillen, just a sophomore, the real new standout for Hope this year. He drives inside, kicks it out. Thomas, who's a very much known quantity, misses a 3. Rebound tipped over into the corner.
Right now, the Scots can't get a rebound, and that's been a problem this season.
Out-rebounded 49-42 against Hope in the first matchup.
And that's one of their better efforts.
Now, there have been some clunkers in the rebound department, that is for sure. Thomas speeds down the lane with 5 on the shot clock, gets to the rack and lays it in with the left hand, 5-0.
Great start for the Flying Dutch here.
Moore Pierce to Meister at the Alma end. Colton hands off to Walker, and now to Riley. Riley taking a look down under the basket, shields himself with the off arm, bounces it to Meister down along the baseline, drives in against Quillen, leans to his left, and eventually the contact gets called as the spin move from Meister gets him to the line.
I would have liked the foul call a lot earlier. It actually didn't look like he committed a foul on the shot, but...
Right, and that was very much the reaction from Quillen was, what, really?
I would tend to agree with him on that one. I think he fouled Meister a couple of times before that, but on the shot, maybe not so much.
First foul of the game sends Meister to the line where he converts on the first off a couple of bounces. 62% foul shooter on the year. second one takes its time.
Lane
it's gonna be waved
violation.
off. Yep, by
went
a lane
over
violation.
He went over.
That will earn a less than warm reception from the Alma students.
I mean, that's a yes you did or a no you did.
Pretty easy call.
There's not a lot to argue on those.
Now, it may not be that he lined up with a foot on the line. You cannot cross that line until the ball hits the rim. So it sometimes is on the follow through that a shooter will get in trouble. Nice give and go in transition. Thomas stripped by Diamond down the lane. Good hands by Nate. Hope will try it from the baseline with a 5-1 lead. 18:04 to play in the first half. House to Schoonfeld. And now Thomas pops from the elbow. Walker steps out on him, alters that shot just enough. Wiggerink gets that rebound. Over to Dykhouse. Jabs his way in, steps to the perimeter, lobs it inside to Wiggerink. Riley bodies him up, a kick out. Dykhouse pumps the three that he made earlier. Instead tries from about 15 feet, misses that off the heel. Schoonfeld gets the rebound.
Alma has not gotten a rebound in this game yet.
Well, there's a big part of your story and why Hope leads 5-0 despite not great shooting. Inside, Schoonfeld no good. Tipped up by Quillen, no good. And finally, Diamond with the first Alma rebound of the game.
Now, the defense from the Scots has been fabulous. They just can't get a rebound.
Riley baseline drive, tries to reverse it and just heaves it out of bounds ultimately, but touched by Quillen along the way. Alma will get to try this again. Hope goes for Marcus Warman, who's had some excellent games. East Lansing High School product, then did a prep school year. Riley lobs it over the top to Meister. Handed to Moore Pearson, now over to Walker. Walker speeds down the lane, scoops it in, it's blocked away by Quillen from behind. Nice block there by Gabe Quillen. We play on at 5-1 Hope. Both teams finding offense a little hard to come by. Down the lane, Thomas and an offensive foul as he got a little shove into Walker.
Pretty good sell job by Tyshawn on that one.
So Thomas picks up his first. And we stay still at 4-1. Alma 0 of 2 from the floor. Hope just 2 of 7.
Yeah.
But as you said, 7 attempts to 2 is a recipe that Alma needs to get away from in a hurry or things will not end well. Gabe Bordeaux into the action for Alma with the familiar pink shoes. Over to Moore Pierce for a triple with a hand in his face. No good. Rebound Warman. And Marcus brings it up. Over to Thomas on the left. Tries to speed past and great hands by Moore Pierce with the steal. Back 1-on-3. Going to have to do this all himself. Can't even get there as Warman knocks it away. That actually may work to the Scots' advantage as they can reset. Bordeaux, quick trigger 3. Back of the rim. No good. And a long bounce out to Riley. Over to Moore Pierce. He wants a triple. That one goes. Landon Moore Pearson just like that, Alma within a point. And Hope's cold early shooting now leaves them right in the midst of a close one. Backcourt steal under the pressure of Bordeaux and Moore Pierce. Maybe a double dribble along the way. Walker a 3. No good. Picked off the backside of the rim by Thomas. But Alma forcing a turnover with that pressure. Remember, they only forced 6 from Hope in the whole game a week and a half ago. Dykhouse bounces it down to Wiggerink. Working against Meister. Baby hook good from the lane.
That's a great play
there for the West Ottawa grad. Hope by 3, 7-4. Moore Pierce, who has the lone bucket from the floor for Alma, keeps his dribble alive, goes to his right through a defensive switch, and tries an off-balance shot from the corner with Wagger in front of him. Hope gets the rebound, brings it back, 15-18 to go first half. Thomas down the lane, triple team. Bordeaux going to just come in and tie him up. A hard fall from Walker, or from Thomas rather, and it is a jump ball. Signal was slow, but the whistle came at the right time.
Bordeaux comes in and makes those hustle plays quite often.
Gabe out of Almont. 2.6 points per game.
Scott's going to get Lauderman and Bush in there.
Bush back after missing a couple games. Last played in the previous game against Hope. Riley down the left side of the lane, fouled. He'll shoot a couple as Nosek comes in. We got conflicting pronunciations for Robert. Nosek or Nochik. Coach Greg Mitchell told me Nozick, so I'm going to go with that. My pronunciation guide says otherwise, but I apologize if I've got that incorrect. Meanwhile, Connor Riley to the line, and he's going to shoot a couple. Riley still near the top of the MIAA numbers in free throw attempts.
Well, he's a guy that goes to the basket aggressively quite often, and that's how you get yourself to the line, certainly.
Makes the first, makes it 7-5. Second up and good as well. So Riley, who's just below now a 70% foul shooter on the year with 2. And now
forgot something.
Yep, left the ball behind off of Warman's inbound pass. It hits the baseline, and Alma gets this back. And that is the 5th Hope turnover of the early going.
Well, that's a big difference already.
For sure. Hope had 20 points off Alma turnovers in the first game. Lauderman for Alma against Wagger. Lobs it up top to Riley. Little stutter step, drives down the lane, kicks it out. Lauderman left wide open for 3. He did not take a shot against Kalamazoo. Had 4 rebounds, misses this one. Over to Riley, swung around. More Pierce drives with the left hand. Now takes it with the right, little baby hook offline.
It's beautiful defense from Warman there, though.
Nozick with the rebound, and Hope speeds up the floor. Down around into the corner. Wagger drops it off through Harris Hawkins, who's checked in. Now over to Dykehouse. Mike Fitzpatrick frantically calling out defensive signals to his team. Warman drives in, and he's going to shoot a pair. His lefty try bounced away, and Peyton Bush called for the foul.
Warman having to shoulder a heavy load these last couple of possessions.
His scoring numbers have fallen off a little bit. 7 games with 10 or more on the season, but only 1 of those in his last 6 hits from the line, averaging just under 9 a game. He moved into the starting lineup when Thomas went out with the finger injury. TJ McKenzie into the game for Hope. A familiar name for both fans of Alma basketball and Alma football, as he is a Hope football player. Tremendous wide receiver for the Dutchman. 58 receptions, 900 yards, and 6 scores back in the fall for Coach Peter Sturzman. 9-6 Hope after the free throws. Bordeaux, and then a whistle.
He was working on that foul for about 10 seconds of that possession.
There's a come underneath on Wagger.
He just basically had Lauderman in a bear hug.
Hope by 3, 14:08 to play in the first half, just getting underway here from the Art Smith Arena at Alma College. Tyshawn Walker from the top of the key. It was passed and then kicks into the corner. Bush for 3, front of the rim short, and 2 Dutchmen there. Hawkins wins the battle in front of Walker, but Alma gets the pressure set up. Hawkins wasn't quite ready for it. Warman, though, dribbles past everything. Scott's now outnumbered as Walker rejoins the play. Hawkins an off-balance try, and Bush, who's a tremendous rebounder, grabs another. 3-on-3. Bush waits, goes over to Riley. He speeds towards the baseline. Warman cuts him off. Back and forth. Riley leaning over to Bordeaux. Immediately triggers the triple. Thought he had it. Stepped away, but Bush runs down a big offensive rebound. Alma finally getting it done a little bit better on the glass. Walker with the dribble try, and no good with the lefty finger roll. And Hope puts an end to that. 13-15
what on
pass,
earth?
and it gets past Nozick and rolls out of bounds.
No, what a
kept in
save!
bounds.
Incredible!
Looked like it was headed straight onto the Scots bench, but Hope keeps this one alive. Warman left side. Bush takes a swat to poke the ball from behind, can't get it.
That's one of the great saves by Nozick you'll ever see, as he just dove toward that scorer's table and volleyballed it down the sideline.
Marcus Warman with the layup. Give him 4, and Hope leads 11-6. Walker for Alma over to Bush. He squares up against McKenzie, passes it back to Riley. Riley with Lauderman flashing towards the basket, dribbles instead himself, bounces it to Lauderman on the left side, low block. Lauderman leans in the lane against Wagger, hook shot, no. And Nozick, who's doing some great work on the glass, grabs another. Long pass ahead, Hawkins speeding in. Lauderman takes a swat at the ball. They try to hand it off. Wagger tries to save it through traffic, finds a way to Hawkins. Nozick extra pass, Wagger an awkward catch.
Oh, he's traveled twice.
Leaned in against Bordeaux one time too many, and the whistle blows.
The feet were coming up off the off the floor every time he tried to lean in.
Casey Constant enters for Alma. Alma just 1 of 13 from the floor. 1 of 7 from 3, but 1 of 13 overall.
They're lucky to be in this ball game.
Down just 11-6. We talked about Hope having a poor shooting first half last time. It's Alma today, down the lane. Walker, count that and 1. That'll help the shooting percentage and then some. Driving layup from Tyshawn Walker plus the foul. 5th Alma team foul, that one on Wigerink.
Craig Mitchell already working the officiating crew.
Walker working on the three-point play here. And does just that. 3 for Walker, 3 for Moore Pierce, 2 for Riley, 1 for Meister. That's the 9 for Alma. They trail by 2. Long pass ahead, and Walker pokes that away. Just got the fingertips on it. As Hope looked to Wigerink up the sideline. .11:57 to play first half. Warman picked up by Constant. Screen set, leaves him open for 3, top of the key, and Marcus knocks it down. He's having a great first half with 7.
Warman's been the best player on the floor, both ends.
Hope a 32.5% shooting team from 3. They lead 14-9. Landed Moore Pierce against McKenzie. Surveying the floor, hands it off to Meister, gets it back, dribbles right into McKenzie, who fights through the screen in both directions. Now down the right side of the lane, fall away Moore Pierce, maybe partially blocked, and rebounded by Thomas. Thomas brings it up himself. Oh, and a huge collision with Bordeaux, a very late whistle.
No, he was completely out of control.
Bordeaux steps in and picks up the foul call. Whistle took a long time after a collision worthy of a football game.
It did. I can't support that call.
Thomas directing Dykehouse into the corner. Throws over the top to Quillen instead. Quillen now to Thomas. Down the lane. Jump stop, doubles teamed. Looked for the backdoor cut. Instead spun and fired himself. Missed that. 2 Scots knock it away from each other out of bounds. Meister and Walker both had position, but too many hands on the basketball.
And we're 9 minutes into this, and things have not gone well for the Scots, and they're only down 5.
Yes, you're right. Alma has to feel fortunate to be in contact here. Dykehouse thought about bouncing it inside to Quillen. Instead, they'll go top of the key. And a miss from 3 from McKenzie. Rebounded by Constant as we approach the midpoint of the first half, 14-9. Oh, maybe a travel from Bordeaux. He spins down, bounces it to Meister, who kind of crouches and backs up and moves his own feet.
I think he tripped.
Must have. Did not look like a normal intended movement from Meister. And Mike Fitzpatrick wants a 30-second timeout. We'll take it with him. 14-9 Hope, 10:42 to play first half. (14-9) Hope by 5, 10:42 to play in the first half. Alma shooting just 2 of 15 from the floor and getting out rebounded 14-7. As you said, very fortunate to still be only down by 5.
Yeah, no idea how they're still in this game other than the fact that they've forced 6 turnovers and have 8 points off of those turnovers. 8 of their 9 points have come off a Hope turnover.
And that's your answer right there. And Alma keeps the pressure up as Hope sends McKenzie up the floor against the press. Cross-court pass, great job by Dykehouse to reach out and just get fingertips on that and keep it in bounds. Dykehouse to Wigerink, top of the key Thomas. Pushes it over in the direction of Dykehouse. One-on-one and a foul underneath against Meister, I think.
There's a battle. Meister going at it. with Quillen under there.
Yep. Eli Schoonveld comes back in. Set up over in the corner. Alma brings in Dequan Powell for his first action of the game. Lob over the top, and Thomas a nice finish. That's a big ask for Tyshawn Walker at 6 feet against Thomas at 6'4". And Thomas the nice finish to make it 16-9. More Pierce to Riley. Speeds in against Wiegering, passes it out, gets away from Powell. He does a good job to chase it down right in front of the scoreboard and in front of the scorer's table. Powell down the lane. Kick out. Walker, open three. Good.
It's a big one.
Tyshawn Walker with 6 of Elma's 12. And the Scots still within 4. Dykehouse in a little bit of trouble in the backcourt. And collision at half court. Alma gets called for a foul. And very close to a travel on Thomas. Powell called for that one. 4th Alma team foul of the first half.
Thomas trying to shake some feeling back into that right arm after the contact. Either that or trying to shake some feeling out of it, one or the other.
You see the bandages on the fingers of his left hand. Missed some games earlier this season. He's played only 11 of Hope's 19 games. 3-point try from Thomas. Buried, beautiful. Right in the middle from Evan Thomas, who has 7. And that is Hope's lead at the moment. Meister dribbling up top, picks it up, hands off to Riley. Riley back on the give and go inside. Meister too strong off the glass. And rebounded by Quillen. Dykehouse quickly up the floor, drops it to Quillen, now Thomas. Mike Fitzpatrick wants the defense extended. Dykehouse dribbles in. Good work by Powell rather, to knock it off of Dykehouse's thigh and out of bounds. This is Alma ball. 7th Hope turnover of this first half.
It's going to get Dykehouse a spot on the pine, too. Coach Mitchell turned to Warman right away at the point of that turnover.
Crossing under 9 minutes to play in the first half as Landon Moore Pierce brings it up for Alma. Diamond getting ready to check back in. Walker a handoff to Moore Pierce. Goes between his legs, steps back, thought about a 3, and then drops it down inside to Riley instead. Fall away over the top of Warman with a big height advantage. Warman did not contest the shot, and Riley makes it. 19-14, Riley applies the backcourt pressure against Warman. He passes it over onto the right sideline, now across from Schoonveld to Wiegering. Nice little head fake from Thomas, but could not get all the way to the basket thanks to good defense from Moore Pierce. Wiegering, corner, long 2-point try, in, out, around, hits the rim again, doesn't fall. Moore Pierce, the Alma rebound. Scots down 5, 19-14, 8-12 left here in the first half. Walker up top to Riley, goes behind his back and wrestled away, but definitely contact there from Schoonveld. He can't believe it, but he had that off arm wrapped around the waist of Connor Riley.
That he did.
8:05 to play as we get many buzzers, some confusion with the substitutions. Justin Peck will clear that up with the officiating crew. I think that someone may have failed to check in.
They're asking about the foul.
Okay, they did not get that. Clearly, there comes the signal. Everybody goes into the memory bank to try to recall what happened.
I think they feel that it's the, they're saying that the guy's calling the foul on the wrong player, and they are correct. The foul was not on number 33, but was on number 2.
Yeah, on Schoonveld, clearly. Meanwhile, Hope uses that substitution to bring Zach Hawes into the game out of Langsburg High School. That, of course, the former coaching home of Greg Mitchell. Walker down the lane, just trying any way he could think of to get that ball towards the basket. And eventually it's Quillen who blocks it out of bounds. Eight on the shot clock. Riley looking for somebody to get it into. Lobs it over the top to Meister. Now back to Riley. Shot clock at 5. Riley gets away from Wiegering. Gets a pretty good look from a difficult distance and hits the 16-footer from the bad angle. 19-16, Alma within 3. Hope with the lead in the ball, 7.5 to play in the first half. Jay McKenzie gets it up the floor to Wegerink. Now Hawes over to Warman. Warman off the dribble, speeds past Powell and lays it in. That was a quick first step from Marcus Warman, who's got 9. He's halfway to his career high, recorded against Wisconsin Stout. Powell looking to do some fancy dribbling of his own. Handcuffs Meister a little bit with a pass. Meister gets around Wegerink. Kick out, open 3. Walker, got it. 9 in the first half from Tyshawn Walker, and Alma again closes to a 21-19 deficit.
Oh, he's out of bounds.
Hawes took the pass, lost track of the geography, stepped on the sideline.
It's not paying attention to your surroundings right there.
Officials will pull Riley just slightly into the backcourt. A late substitution.
And being admonished for not checking in.
Hawkins makes it in for Wegerink. Riley, Walker, Meister, Powell. And Diamond hiding down in the corner for Alma. Diamond now flashes to the top of the key, takes a pass from Riley, drops it over to Powell, wants a quick trigger 3, high bounce off the back of the rim, and Hawes pulls that one in. Hope the other way with a 2-point lead. Marcus Warman, who's led the way with 9 to Hawkins, and now McKenzie. Jab step. TJ rifles a pass too strong for Quillen inside, but they'll say last touch by Alma. To a chorus of "oh" from the student section.
I'd give that one about a 50-50.
Yeah, hard to tell on that. Pass was thrown so hard it would have been hard to catch without Alma getting hands in there. Quillen hands it off to Warman. Now over to Hawes, quick trigger 3 himself, and good. Zach Hawes, a nice spinning triple. Puts Hope back out to a 5-point cushion, 24-19. Interesting, Jeff. Evan Thomas is over in the corner by the locker room practicing shooting a ball into the air to himself. Not sure what's going on.
Well, I told you about that right arm that was injured. He did make a triple after the injury, but.
Riley with a shot knocked out of bounds by Alma. This is Hope ball as we keep an eye on Thomas over in the far corner with the Hope training staff. But definitely something being worked on for Evan Thomas. Full court press, more Pierce against McKenzie. Riley steps in as well. Up to Hawes, cross court Warman. Under 6 minutes to play in the half, Hope by 5. Warman looks for a screen. Diamond tries to stay with him. And Alma sends 2 players after him, so they'll Hope rolls the ball back the other direction. But then their entry pass knocked away and stolen by Riley. Riley into the front court, draws a double team down the lane, blocked from behind by Hawes with a little bit of help from Quillen. Riley thought he got fouled, ended up on the floor, but play just goes on. Hawkins from the backcourt, everything a little discombobulated here. Nobody knows where to go, and Hawkins misses the running leaner. All the way up the floor to Walker for Alma. One-on-one against Hawes, clears out with a hip and then finishes with the left hand. 24-21.
It's a great use of the right hip from Tyshawn.
Aiden Judson getting ready to check in for Alma along with Bush. Hawes over to Warman. Now back to Hawes and bounced inside. Quillen looks right over his shoulder. A great backdoor cut, and Hawkins with the finish.
Nobody home defensively for the Scots.
Lead back to 5, then back and forth between 2 and 5 for a number of minutes now. Walker to Riley for Alma. Walker has been Alma's best threat here so far. More Pierce on the left wing. Over to Meister, hands back to Moore Pierce, fakes a 3, shot clock in single digits, spins, fires over the top of a Meister 3, way long, right, Meister screen, but way long on that. Greg Mitchell wants a timeout for Hope, 4:22 to play in the half, Hope by 5 will return. by 5, 26-21. They call timeout after an errant three-point try from Landon Moore-Pierce. Kind of a curious time for Greg Mitchell to call a timeout. I'll be interested to see what adjustments they make out of this.
I thought it was strange, too.
Meanwhile, Evan Thomas remains, or did he come into the game during that timeout? He did slip in there.
Yep.
Okay. So Thomas returns after the work with the training staff. We'll keep an eye on him. Thomas off to a nice start with 7 in the game, but Warman has 9 to lead Hope in the scoring department. Thomas gets it off. And Warman works back and forth against the Scots' pressure. Up across the court. Wagger with a nice pass down below, and that's why you needed dunk practice in the warm-ups. Andrew Leeper with the finish. Leeper checks into the game, and 10 seconds later, a wide-open dunk. Walker down the lane, 2 big steps. The ball blocked out of bounds and saved from behind the basket by Wagger. Great play there. So Coach Mitchell getting exactly what he wanted out of the timeout. A dunk and a quick stop. Warman up top against Peyton Bush. Aiden Judson also in there for Alma. Thomas one-on-one against Walker, who's had that defensive assignment most of the night. 3 from the top of the key, and the big man Wagger knocks it down. An incredible shooting year he's had. He's shooting 8 of 11 from 3, now 9 of 12, 75% from 3 on the year.
It's getting the job done.
31-21. Alma goes down low to Riley. That could be an and one, and it is. It rolls around on the rim for a while and goes through. 8 for Riley. And a foul on Warman.
Well, Greg Mitchell's never seen a call against his team that he likes, has he?
Wagger's stats on the year coming into today, Jeff. 50% from the floor, 72.7% from 3, and 100% from the line. Now, that was only on 3 attempts from the line, but 8 of 11 threes, now
That's
9
incredible.
of 12. That's
absolutely
That's
incredible.
shooting off the rack in the three-point contest numbers.
If not better.
And keep in mind, that's Wagger, a 6'7" big guy.
Oh, he's huge.
Riley converts the three-point play that gets Alma back within 7 at 31-24 with 3:13 to play. Dykehouse up top. Over onto the left side to Leeper. And now to Thomas. Bounces it right off the dribble to Leeper, who then goes a bounce pass to enter it down to Wagger. Hope brings it right back out. 6 on the shot clock. Wagger thinking about another 3, not this time. Bounces it down inside. Tough fall away from Leeper. Didn't have any kind of an angle. Had to take the shot.
It didn't hit the rim.
I don't know. Hit something. Ball loose. Finally, Alma comes out of there with it. It did get redirected. I wasn't sure that was the rim that it hit. Nonetheless, Alma up the floor. Riley out to Moore-Pierce. 2:35 left in the half. 31-24. Hope with the lead. Moore-Pierce, couple of delay step dribbles. Now to Judson, well, right through Judson and through to Riley off the tip.
That was not pretty.
Riley to Moore-Pierce, 6 on the clock to shoot now for Alma. Trouble for Moore-Pierce, who gets it stuck on his hip. Now 1, and Judson doesn't see it.
No
shot
idea.
Clock violation catches Alma off guard.
Not getting any help from his bench down there. I didn't hear the count.
No, that is the problem of the first half when you shoot away from your benches. But you're right, Alma did not get much assistance. I think Moore-Pierce.
But also, you need to know what's going on.
Sure. I think Moore-Pierce knew what was happening, but then he got the ball caught on his hip. And by the time that he got it back, there wasn't much time for Judson to do anything. Dykehouse against the Alma press, speeds right past Bush, and now loops all the way back.
Weaving through.
Working his way through traffic. Now pointing, trying to get his players in motion. Over to Leeper. Up top, Schoonveld, and he traveled with it, yep. Eli moved the feet too soon as he made that catch from the top of the key. And another turnover from Hope, which is a big part of what's kept Alma in this game. 10 in the first half compared to just 3 from the Alma Scots. Meanwhile, Hope with a 21-11 rebound edge. Sean Walker calls out the play for Alma, gives it to Judson from Three Rivers, now over. Riley for 3, that's way short, barely gets the rim, but Judson saves it. It comes, however, right to Leeper, sets him off on a break. He has to wait with no help up the floor. Thomas now to Leeper, 3 from the corner, no. Rebound taken away by Moore-Pierce from behind Wagger. Beautiful there. Moore-Pierce pump fake, slings it with the left hand, nice catch by Walker along the bench.
The Hope bench was all ready to get out of the way.
They were. Now Walker has it knocked out of his hands by Dykhouse, turns that into a chance to make a dribble drive, misses, but Judson is there to clean it up with the follow. First two of the night for Judson, and it's 31-26. 1:08 to play first half. Dykhouse into the front court. Slides to his right, keeps his dribble alive. Now pass over to Leaper.
Thought that press break right there by Dykhouse individually was really strong.
Thomas now controlling, handles the ball extremely well at 6'4". Steps inside the three-point line, fires off balance though. Maybe not the best shot selection. Misses that one short. Scots get the rebound. 10-second differential, shot clock to game clock. Judson drives in, bounces off
he's walked
of
the country mile.
Yes, he has. A leisurely stroll for Judson ends in a turnover. Now Hope has 32.9 on the clock with the 30-second shot clock, so we'll see if they try to run it down and leave Alma with almost no time to come back, or if they just run their offense. 31-26, Hope by 5 here at the end of the first half.
Well, first they're going to have to break the Alma press, and Alma's just subbing and subbing and subbing here.
Bordeaux jogs in, more Pierce takes a seat.
No foul trouble for the Scots.
Only 4 Alma fouls in the half, 7 on Hope. Thomas struggling to get it in, finds some help from Schoonfeld. And now off to Dykhouse. Bordeaux with him, but careful not to foul. And Clayton brings it into the front court. Dykhouse dribbling way out high on the logo. And Bordeaux staying right with him. Shot clock 15. Through Schoonfeld. Now Wiegerinken over to Thomas in front of Alma's bench. Dykhouse to his right, 7 on the shot clock. Driving in, Schoonfeld went for a dunk from a long distance, missed it. Thomas got the rebound knocked loose from Wiegerinken. Time's gonna run out. Powell did get the shot off, but it's well short. But Alma gets the stop at the end of the half. Hope leads by 5, but 20 minutes will settle it. We'll pause, come back with the Pizza One halftime report a few minutes from now. Score at the break, Hope 31, Alma 26. Hope up 31-26 on Alma at the half as we welcome you into the Pizza One halftime report. And, you know, not a first half that either team will frankly be terribly thrilled with,
no.
I don't think. Alma shoots 9 of 31 from the floor. Hope goes 12 of 27, but turns it over 11 times. Alma gets out-rebounded 23-14. Everybody's got something to be unhappy about. And then at the same time, at least for Alma for sure, be happy looking at the scoreboard to find themselves only down 5 after that type of performance.
Yeah, I'd say neither team played very well, that's for sure.
Hope, on the other hand, will say, hey, we played pretty poorly and we're ahead in this game, so we should be happy about that. So it's really all about your perspective, and I think that the winner of this game is going to be whoever plays closer to their actual capability sooner, because you know that's going to happen in the second half. It's just whoever gets it figured out first probably comes out on top.
I mean, maybe on the other side of the argument, you could say both defenses played exceptional basketball in the first half.
That's a very fair point.
Just a situation where the units, the defensive units of both teams are outdoing the offensive units. I think that's the best way to look at it.
Take a look elsewhere in the MIAA. Only one score currently updating, and that is Trine and Albion, where Trine has a 28-19 lead at halftime. If that plays out, that will drop Albion to 3-6 in the league, which would give Adrian and Alma a crack at moving up the standings, or at least into a tie. Right now, Adrian and Alma tied for that 6th spot, which will be the last slot in the MIAA tournament. First half scoring numbers as we look at some of the individual stuff. First for Hope. What a half for Marcus Warman, who finishes up with 9. Came off the bench, really played very, very well.
Yes,
Evan Thomas had 7 despite missing some time with what we think might have been a banged up elbow. Not quite sure what happened there. Then balanced the rest of the way. Nobody with more than 3 down the rest of the score sheet for Hope, but 3 from Dykehouse, 3 from Zach Hawes, who came in, 3 from Ben Wagger, 2 from Tanner Wiegerink, a 2-point dunk from Andrew Leeper, and 2 from Harris Hawkins, who checked in. Tyshawn Walker leading the way for Alma with 11. Connor Riley right behind with 9. Then it's Landon Moore Pierce with 3. Judson with 2, and 1 at the line from Meister. So only 5 score for Alma, and 20 of their 26 points come from Walker and Riley, their 2 leading scorers on the year.
Well, got to get a little bit more distribution in that second half. Going to need a hit from downtown, especially if they're only shooting 29% overall, and need to continue to create those turnovers.
Looking at the Scots schedule, they head on the road this weekend, head down to Trine for a rematch with Brooks Miller's crowd. That is actually a doubleheader. The women will play at 1 o'clock down at Trine as well. Oh my gracious, Quillett got away with the travel and nobody saw it. Just leisurely stepping around at half court, nobody paying attention. Onward we go. Hope with the ball as we get underway here in the second half. Gabe Quillen hands off to Evan Thomas. His pass kind of handcuffs Dykehouse, who dribbles all the way to the baseline, passes it back out to Wiegerink. Up top, Thomas just stands there for a while, then fires a 3, noticing that the shot clock was running out. It bricks off, but it's rebounded by Wiegerink, and he gets fouled by Meister.
Some major rebounding troubles for the Scots, and that's been a story of the season, certainly.
It has. Hope is the best team in the MIAA in rebounding margin at +4.5, Alma -5.5. That is a part of what's happened here tonight. Tanner Wiegerink up top, over to Dykehouse, pump fake on a 3, speeds to the foul line, then kicks it out. Quillen wants the long range try. That's no good, and Diamond, possibly the shortest Scot on the floor, gets the rebound.
Love the ball movement there from Hope, though.
Diamond gives it over. Oh my. Walker wasn't quite sure what to do, didn't take the shot, then decided to dribble and take the shot. Missed that one. Had a wide open look, and Hope never really closed out on him. They do get the rebound, however.
He must have not been comfortable with it where he was at.
Clearly not. Got the comfortable look, but it didn't fall. Dykehouse now fakes his way past Walker. Moore Pierce with a little help along the baseline. Missed from the reverse. Meister pulls that one in.
I thought Dykehouse had a little bit quicker a chance to go up with it on the left side of the glass.
Diamond slings a pass across to Moore Pierce. Over to Meister. One dribble given back to Moore Pierce. Landon, pullback 3, hard off the heel. Teams finding themselves stuck deep in the shot clock
they are.
Here.
Tight defenses.
Yep. And that's a continuation of what we saw in the first half. Dykehouse over to Quillen. Looks underneath, rifles a pass down to Wiegerink, and have to work against Riley, spins and gets fouled. Connor got a little bit of the wrist as Tanner Wegerink went up to try to lay that one in. Oh, interesting. The foul was posted on Moore Pierce.
Huh.
Kind of shakes his head. I didn't see a ton of contact from Riley.
Well, I thought Connor got him on the wrist, personally.
Yeah, and Riley reacted like he thought it was on him, but I'm going to put that one on Moore Pierce for now. I definitely saw the official signal with a fist for 0.
Yeah.
So unless the official just got it wrong, that's what they intended to do. Wegerink misses the first foul shot.
Now, they've gotten mixed up a couple times tonight already.
Hope a 73% free throw shooting team on the year, but they have actually fallen off to that level. They were 3rd in the country in the middle of December in free throw percentage before tailing off to where they are right now. Wegerink splits the pair, 32-26. That's the only point scored in the second half. Riley to Diamond for Alma. Now over to Moore Pierce. Up top, Riley dribbles in 3 steps, backs right back up. Over to Diamond, shot clock again deep at 8 and counting. Diamond speeds all the way to the bucket. Wegerink stays with him, bounced across to Meister, shot clock 4. Moore Pierce pump fake from the corner, held briefly, gets a jumper off, hits the rim to get the reset, but misses. Looked to me like Schoonfeld grabbed him by the arm as he tried to drive past. Meanwhile, Hope quickly the other way, down to the baseline, back out, 3-point look, Wegerink got it.
More good ball movement right there, and Hope wants the timeout.
They've done that a couple of times now tonight, but they lead by 9, their biggest of the game. 17:30 to play, second half. We'll be back. Five-point halftime lead for Hope has expanded to 9 now at 35-26. 17:30 to play off a nice Tanner Wegerink 3-pointer. And then Hope, somewhat curiously, took the timeout. That's the second time that we've seen Coach Greg Mitchell do that.
That is good, solid ball movement from the Dutch. And defensively, they've been smothering. Well, maybe Coach Mitchell just wanted to give his squad a little bit of time to catch their breath, as the defense that they're playing, I'm sure, is expending a lot of energy.
Sure, it could be, and it could just be a hey, guys, what you've just been doing, that's what we want.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes, coaching can be about what you're doing right, not what you're doing wrong. Riley steps inside, then pulls back for 3, misses that badly off to the left. Dykehouse gets the rebound for Hope, and they'll try to look for a double-digit advantage. Over to Warman, who had the terrific first half, back to Dykehouse. Drops it up top to Quillen. Quillen still scoreless. Had 20 against Alma the first time, along with 9 rebounds. Dykehouse gets it to Quillen along the baseline, back out. Dykehouse 3 with Walker's hand in his face, short off the front of the rim. Rebound hits the ground despite all the bodies around, and eventually a foul underneath against Hope. And Wegerink with a tap of the chest to indicate he is the perpetrator.
Well, he knew it. Had him triple teamed, too. Kind of a strange little.
Now, didn't get the shot clock reset quickly on top of that.
There we go.
And we'll try this again. Not quite the Chiefs Bengals with a complete do-over.
No,
just
no.
a 1-second redo. Walker for Alma. Over to Riley. Jabs to his left, couple of dribbles, back to Walker on the right. Speeds to the top of the key, tries to find a way down the lane. Full spin move, baby little hook that comes up short. Rebounded by Wegerink, and Hope goes the other direction. All the way down, over the head. Miss from Dykehouse, but the putback is the first bucket of the game for Quillen. Riley for Alma, a crossover dribble. As play continues, drag the toes, try to get a pass to Moore Pierce, who just kind of punches it over in the direction of Walker. Walker gets it now back off a handoff, drives down, a lot of contact in all kinds of directions, and a wild shot that comes up short.
Hope defense is everywhere.
Hope now offensively up the floor, sets up Thomas for a 3, and Evan into double figures with 10, and a timeout. This will be Alma this time. Hope by 14, pulling away here. Alma's going to try to put the brakes on when we come back. I do not have the stats for this, Jeff, but certainly anecdotally, Alma has struggled in second halves to maintain what they've done in the first half. First half was not great offensively, but defensively they slowed Hope down enough to stay within 5, just like this. We're less than 5 minutes into the second half, and Hope now out to a 14-point lead.
Well, Alma just unable to score the basketball. Not enough motion, I guess, offensively to shake anybody free. And, you know, that Hope defense has got to be given a lot of credit for that.
Outscored 14-5 in the second half. And you're right, Hope defensively very much causing a lot of Alma's headaches. Alma still with only 4 turnovers in the game, but the rebounding numbers continue to be tilted 31-17 in Hope's favor. Connor Riley for Alma as they come out of the timeout, working against Clayton Dykehouse. Drives down onto the left side block. Passes it back out to Peyton Bush, who's checked in. Over into the corner. Walker for 3. Buries another one.
First good look the Scots have gotten in this second half.
Sean Walker trying to single-handedly keep the Scots in the game, and Riley bumps Wagger as he makes a catch just across half court. Easy call against Connor there. An unfortunate just sort of coincidence of timing and when everybody arrived in that space, but an easy call.
Very easy call. Only the first foul.
3 Alma fouls in the second half, 1 against Hope. Warman in the corner, inside, Quillen spinning, good. 4 for Quillen here in the second half.
Worked him into a mismatch.
More Pierce scoops it over to Riley, who then scoops it to Walker. Bounce pass, Riley over on the right wing, finds Meister at the left elbow for a shot. A little bit of a line drive, short off the front of the rim. Quillen gets the board. Hope now out to a comfortable 13-point lead. Lots of time left, though. 14:30 to play. Clayton Dykehouse to Evan Thomas. And the All-American down the lane, spins to his right. Walker falls hard behind the play. Thomas kicks it back out to Wagger. Now gets it back in return. Thomas back and forth with a crossover dribble, loses the handle on it. 3 on the shot clock. Dykehouse has to try from deep, gets a piece of the rim, but that's all. Walker the rebound for Alma. Walker up the floor to a trailing Moore Pierce. Now over to Walker, wide open 3, top of the key. This one doesn't go. Tyshawn's been great tonight, but that one couldn't find the middle. Thomas keeps his dribble alive with a little stutter step, accelerates to the rim and scores.
Nobody ever picked him up defensively.
Not really.
Best player on the floor, you ought to guard him.
Moore Pierce slings a pass down low. Bush turnaround. Little sideways pass.
He took an extra step.
Yep, and exactly. Moore Pierce can't believe it, but you saw it. And so
I
did
definitely
the
believe it, yeah. He caught the basketball, took 1 extra step before he put it on the floor. They're going to call that more often than not.
Alma goes to Judson as Meister sits down. Nosek comes in for Hope after some crucial minutes in the first half where he picked up 3 boards in rapid succession. Now Riley, almost another collision foul. Instead, it's more Pierce who picks it up on the reach in the backcourt against Dykehouse.
They could have called Connor for it, certainly.
Nosek will inbound right in front of the Alma scorers table where the sign says the Charles and Marion McIntyre Court here at the Art Smith Arena. Hope by 15, 44-29. Quillen down low, Wagger just spins and jumps it up. 12-footer good for Ben Wagger. He's got 5. And Hope now by 17, pulling away. Moore Pierce crosses over to his right, stops in the lane, now leans around. Nice little layup there and a timeout from Alma. They'll take a 30. Back within 15, 46-31. We'll return. Hope 46, Alma 31, 13:08 remains here. Hope on the season 11-8, 5-3 in the MIAA. Alma 5-14 after just snapping a 6-game losing streak against Kalamazoo last weekend. Scott's 2-6 in league play, which ties them with Adrian for 6th place in that final MIAA tournament spot. Alma sets up the pressure. Riley working against Dykhouse. He brings it up the left sideline, crosses into the front court. Alma quickly retreats. Dykhouse into the corner for Warman, and that's too many steps. No,
they're calling an offensive foul, but I thought they were going to call a travel because he jab stepped in and then the back foot went with him briefly.
Yep, Nosek called for the foul first, but I think one way or another, Elmo was coming out of there with the basketball.
I think you're right.
More Pierce at the point, picked up by Warman right at the top of the key. Elmo passes around, finds Judson for an open three-point look, comes up short. Beautiful feed right to Moore Pierce, who didn't want
the putback jumper
from the elbow. He pump fakes it, steps over, tries a three instead, comes up short on that one. That one bounces into the corner where Quillen is fouled by Moore Pierce, reaching over as Quillen hoisted the ball behind his head. It'll be 3 on Moore Pierce.
Going to get DeQuan Powell up off the bench.
Yep. Powell out of Detroit Loyola, his sister a college hooper as well.
One of those days where Moore Pierce just doesn't have it. He either does or he doesn't, and you know it right away. 2 for 10 from the floor.
He's had some great games.
That he has.
Hope goes to TJ McKenzie during that stoppage. Warman speeds into the front court. 12:30 to play, 46-31 Hope. McKenzie on the right. Up top through Wegerink, now to Nosek. And a handoff to Warman. Into the lane, pops it from just inside the foul line, bouncing around on the rim. Nosek flies up, grabs the rebound, and then gets fouled while he's in the air by Riley, I do believe.
Connor with an impressive foul from his backside and out of bounds.
Takes talent. Nosek gets some high fives from the Hope bench as he checks out. More good minutes. And another rebound to show for it. Warman along the baseline to Wagger as we get back underway. Warman dribbles in, a little give and go, and Wagger a lefty finish.
Wanted to see the slam there.
Could have thought about it. We had the missed dunk in the first half that might have everybody a little bit gun shy. Peyton Bush for Alma. Hope leads by 17, 48-31. Powell a step to his right, a between the legs dribble, and a pass out of the range of Walker.
Pretty, my.
Oh boy, Walker made a valiant effort to both save that and not end up in Nate Diamond's lap. Just a little too late.
Not a lot of minutes for Diamond so far tonight.
No.
And he hasn't attempted a single shot.
Diamond on the season averaging 6.5 points per game, had 9 against Hope, coming off 9 against Kalamazoo on Saturday. McKenzie for Hope. Pops it from 18 feet. Tough shot there, short. Rebound knocked around. Battled for between Judson and Wegerink, and I believe this will be a jump ball, yes. Possession arrow sends that one in Hope's direction.
This is in Elma's direction, actually.
Oh, you're right.
Good little battle there for the basketball.
Riley with it. Off to Powell. Fake, steps to his left, drives all the way in, gets underneath the basket, goes to the right hand and finishes.
Nice use of the speed right there from Powell.
Good job from DeQuan. 15-point Hope lead, 48-33. Marcus Warman dribbling over in front of the Hope bench. Goes between his legs. Picked up by Bush at the top of the key. Now to McKenzie. McKenzie speeds past Powell, gets to the baseline, lays it up and in. McKenzie, his first 2, 50-33. Walker gets the ball too far out in front of him, does a good job to get it back. Drops it to Judson. And now to Riley. Over to Powell, deep 3, good. Powell, a quick 5 and a timeout for Alma. 50-36, Alma back within 14, 10.5 to play. We'll be back. 5 quick ones from DeQuan Powell brings Alma back within 14. A long ways still to go. Hope 50-36, 10:34 on the clock here in the second half.
A couple of pretty good minutes from Powell here.
You betcha. Did have the errant pass that misfired looking for Walker, but other than that, he's been tremendous. Another men's basketball score. Calvin on the road at Kalamazoo with a big early lead, 28-14. Calvin knocked off Alma in women's basketball earlier. St. Mary's over Kalamazoo, 61-52 on the women's side. Adrian beats Olivet, 70-63. And here the score in men's basketball is Hope over Alma, 50-36, 10:34 to go. Hope has the length of the floor to maneuver as Evan Thomas gets ready to toss it in. Goes to Werman, who tries to speed pass push. Payton does a good job to stay with him. Werman weaves through traffic, bounces it inside to Wegerink. And now a kick out. Hope can set everything up again after speeding through the press break. Wagger on the right side. Up top, Werman against Walker. Looked for Wagger, tipped away by Bush, who cannot save it before it goes out of bounds. Almost did. Wagger thought about that 13th three-point try on the season. 9 of 12 already. Thomas on a little give-and-go play, gets it back off the inbounds, then bounces it through traffic, and a lefty try is good from Wagger. He's got 9. Wagger on the night, 4 of 4 from the floor, including the 3. 52-36, Hope by 16. Powell up top. He's had a quick 5 here in the recent minutes. This time his shot, though, blocked away by Wegerink. Thomas up the floor, 2-on-4, but Werman behind everybody gets inside. A little flat-footed layup try that bounces away. Little oopsie-doo.
That was almost a really cool play.
It was. Just needed to go in. Now Werman dribbles on. Down the lane, speedy down there, flying in. Judson blocks it away, but a foul first. I don't think this foul is on Judson, is it?
No, it's not.
So
at Bordeaux, I think.
Yep, you are correct. Gabe with his second.
The block was clean. He had been fouled before the shot was rejected.
Yep, that was my take on it. Werman hasn't scored here in the second half after 9 in the first half. But gets that one. 53-36. Hope now. Second try coming up, and that's up and in there as well for the Lansing native. Thomas leads the way for Hope with 12, Werman right behind him with 11. 54-36, an 18-point edge, which I believe matches Hope's largest of the game. Certainly right in that neighborhood, if not. More Pierce from the top of the key, crosses over, spins across the foul line, again dribbles it off his hip but keeps it alive. Now to Diamond and back to Moore Pierce. 9 minutes to play. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Meister inside has his dunk attempt tipped away, gets his own rebound though, falls away in the lane and hits the second try.
Hadn't he already dribbled?
Not sure if he got that back off the missed shot, and then it was all a little
It was
weird.
A blur. It was very strange.
Thomas down the lane at the other end. Layup try and a foul.
Got hit hard.
From behind. Let's see if this is Bordeaux again. 2-shot foul coming up for Evan Thomas. It is Bordeaux with his third. Thomas on the season just under 74% from the foul line, but a terrific free throw shooter. Career 77%, had a 36 make streak earlier on. Career average 16.5 points per game, 7.5 boards, and 77% from the line.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Yep.
When you get right down to it.
Gotcha. 13 now tonight. Coming into today, Jeff, he's third in the MIAA in free throws, and that's in only 11 games of a 19-game season.
That's amazing.
Third in makes, not percentage, made free throws. Second from Thomas, perfect. He's got 14 and an 18-point lead once again at 56-38. 8.5 to go in this one. Landon Moore Pierce rotates to his left, jumper from 10 feet, spins out. Thomas adds another rebound to his tally. That's his 5th of the game. Thomas against Bordeaux, gets all the way to the baseline. Ball knocked loose, just keeps it under control long enough to throw it back to Warman. Thomas now in the corner, drives in, was thinking dunk. There was no path for that. Tried to lay it off the window instead. That didn't work either.
No, nothing ended up well. He got himself caught in the air there.
And speaking of caught in the air, Moore Pierce just gets a pass down to Meister for a baseline jumper, rebounded by Quillen. Moore Pierce did a great job to find somebody who was able to catch that after he got stuck elevated with no place to go. And Greg Mitchell with a timeout. 7:52 left in this one. Hope up 56-38. We'll return. Hope leads 56-38 with 7:52 left here at Alma College. Men's basketball on Q104.9 WQBX and live streaming at almascots.com. Hope looking to pick up win number 12 on the year. To try to get some things rolling, they're going to have a hard time winning the MIAA regular season title, but position themselves for the postseason. They, of course, made the NCAA tournament last year, finished up at 22-7, 12-2 overall in league play. The injury bug has bitten Hope again this year. It's been a little bit more difficult to fight through. Playback underway at Hope's end with the 18-point lead. TJ McKenzie against Tyshawn Walker. Woo! Nice backdoor cut off the bounce. Good job by Moore Pierce to come and knock the ball away off what would have been an easy Thomas shot. Now Thomas wincing as he runs up the floor. Diamond, first shot attempt of the night is a 3. It bounces away. Quick rebound from Moore Pierce, who elevates, puts it back in while in the air.
Now, Thomas's right arm is not right. Just kind of dangling there, and Coach Mitchell's going to get himself an injury timeout. That's a good job.
So Thomas to the bench. He's just going to sit down rather than head over to the corner where he got some treatment earlier, but we certainly hope that Evan Thomas can bounce back. He is a special player in the MIAA, as we said. At least one publication naming him an All-American last year. McKenzie to Quillen along the right baseline and double-teamed and fouled by Alma.
4 on Bordeaux. Yep. Nope, they're going to go with Walker
instead. 9th Alma team foul, though, and that means shots.
Just 2 for Hope.
Yeah, they have not found their way to the foul line. First up and good. Still only 1 miss for either team tonight. 5 of 6 from Alma, 7 of 8 now for Hope.
That's what you love to see as a coach. You jinxed him.
Misses on the back end. Moore Pierce up the floor. Kicks it out to Bordeaux. Spinning down all the way strong, and Gabe will go to the line off a Quillen foul.
Well, Bordeaux will get a chance now.
That he will. 8 of 10 now for Hope, 5 of 6 for Alma. Bordeaux, 67% from the line on the year. First one up and in. Averaged a little over 12 points a game as a high school senior, now a junior here in college. Been a steady contributor, averaging 2.5 rebounds per game. Short on the second try. Quillen pulls that rebound down, so we've managed to jinx both teams at the foul line now. Hope by 16 with 7 minutes to play. McKenzie for the Flying Dutchman. Drives to his right, steps back, fires in, out, around, not in though. Bounces away, and then a whistle on the rebound. And another foul. This one going against Quillen, and Alma's going to get possession here.
Just a little too aggressive coming over the top.
Quillen's third. Shot took the grand tour of the rim.
It did.
Alma will roll it up. There's still 6:50 to go in the game, but Alma going to preserve every possible second. Diamond for three, no. Rebound short and goes off the fingertips of McKenzie off the backboard, and then Hope secures it. McKenzie now speeding down the lane with Diamond in full retreat. Count that and one.
Beautiful play, start to finish.
See why TJ McKenzie is not a lot of fun to cover out on the football field either.
Good speed.
You betcha. Young man from North Muskegon. Alma brings in Josh Elliott for Diamond. Elliott had a terrific game against Hope. 4 for 7 from the floor, 4 of 6 from 3 a week and a half ago. He's cooled off since then. McKenzie will look for the three-point play, which could make the Hope lead 19. And he does just that. TJ's been in and out of the starting lineup this year, but settling in as a solid sixth man. And he's got 5 tonight. 60-41. Riley through Elliott over to Moore Pierce. Crossing, cuts to his left. Works his way down against Schoonfeld and then gets hit along the baseline and a foul call. Schoonfeld doesn't like it, but it certainly looked like Moore Pierce kind of recoiled from some contact.
Could have been a little bit of an act, but.
5 Hope fouls now, so Alma closing in on the bonus. Scale still tipped against Alma in the foul department, and McKenzie reaches across Bordeaux and steals.
Well, nobody
away the
moved on the inbounds play for Alma. They were all just planted.
Dykehouse, who has returned for Hope. A couple of dribbles, gets tangled up before he can get a shot off. Alma with the double team. Now down to Wegerink, over to Warman. Up top, McKenzie, deep three-point look. Boom! TJ McKenzie with 8.
Nice minute and a half or so for McKenzie.
Sure is. A streaky shooter for sure. He's had a couple of cold games where he's only made 1 shot. But knocking them down here in the second half tonight. 63-41. Riley down the lane. Probably got away with one, but lays it up over his shoulder.
He's asking for a foul. Well, he for sure traveled.
Alma back within 20, 63-43. A little less than 5.5 to play. Moore Pierce tangles up Warman in the backcourt. Elliott comes away with the steal. Then Elliott appears to get raked down by the arm. Stolen back by Hope. Over to McKenzie in the corner. Inside, right inside Wegerink. Goes underneath Walker, lays it in, and Walker gets a piece of him for the foul as well.
Thought for a moment that the officials had lost their whistles, but there was one.
Little awkward in both directions.
It was,
not sure,
very much so.
It appear that Alma got the ball cleanly, then it looked pretty clear to me that Elliott got pulled down by his arm.
Yeah, for sure.
Wegerink, 6'7", Holland West Ottawa product. Now a 9-point night as he hits the free throw. And Hope pushes it out to a 23-point advantage. Walker to his left, spinning down the lane, a kick out, but a foul first. Elliott leaning on a three-pointer that wouldn't have counted anyway. Foul on Warman. Will be the last shot or last foul before Hope goes into the bonus. A lot of grousing out there as much as anything. Connor Riley for Alma at the left elbow. Jab spins down the lane, knocked away from behind by Dykehouse, scramble for it on the floor. Was not a whistle, that was a squeaky shoe. And now Walker pokes it away from behind to take it back. Riley was still down at the Alma end, and he sets himself up for an easy lay-in.
I was looking around, I thought it had been a whistle, but it was just the shoes.
66-45. Dykehouse up to Warman, and back to Dykehouse. 4.5 minutes separating Hope from win number 12 of the year. And Dykehouse fouled by Walker, wave off a basket at the end of that drive, fouled long before that. Walker with his third, and that will be 2 shots though, because of the double bonus. Clayton Dykehouse, who Alma has defended very well tonight, held him to only 3 points compared to 19 points, 10 boards in the first game. That puts him at 906 career points. Still a decent chance to get to that 1,000-point mark before the end of this year.
I would say so.
Free throw good. Career high 27 against Albion. 4th in the league in assists.
I think Hope will be pretty happy with this effort tonight. Just one of those games where it hasn't gone great, but it's gone plenty good enough.
Right, and not threatened in the second half. They, 5-point game at halftime, but seized control early in the second half and have held it the rest of the way. Nice give and go between Lauterman and Elliott, and Lauterman the finish, Elliott the assist.
Their defense has been spectacular.
Alma sets up the pressure. Elliott up front in that. Working against Dykehouse. Dykehouse gets by, no look feed. Wiegering goes for the slam and finishes it this time. 11 for Tanner Wiegering, in traffic nonetheless. 70-47, under 4 to play. Waterman to hand off to Powell. Powell to Walker. Around the perimeter now to Riley. Riley stumbling through the lane. Drops it into the corner to Lauterman, back out to Powell. Powell had a quick 5 earlier in the half, stops in the lane himself, spins backwards, a rainbow air ball.
He spun himself into the ground there almost.
Yeah, very much so. 3:23 to play. McKenzie speeding down the lane, nobody blocks the path, and he finishes with a bucket. Hope calls timeout. McKenzie now with 10. And we'll pause with 3:19 to play, 72-47 Hope. (72-47), Hope by 25 with 3:19 to go. Number of football commits being announced by the Alma Scots today as they close in on the end of, or the beginning of spring practice. Obviously the high school seniors won't be here for that, but Scots already looking forward to continuing their success of last year's 11-win playoff season. And I see from this announcement another Soffordini on the way to town.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That one of multiple announcements today for Jason Couch and his coaching staff. Of course, Hope will also look to surge back to prominence in MIAA football play. Peter Sturzman so successful coaching the Flying Dutchman after coming over from East Grand Rapids. Alma changes the personnel up a little bit during that timeout. As we see Thomas Alfano into the game. Elliott with a 3-point try. That one's good. And Josh Elliott is going to petition to get to play against Hope more. Made 4 threes in the last game, and he's got another one here tonight. Hope with Leaper, and they go down low to Wiegering for another dunk. Tanner Wiegering back-to-back slams, padding his stats. Ryan Gaynor runs the point for Alma, an Illinois product, off to Xavier Glenn. Glenn has not scored since December. It would be nice to see him get one. Hands off to Elliott. Elliott down the lane, tucks it away, then goes high off the window, way too high, in fact. And Hawkins the rebound for Hope. Up the floor, down low. Powell with a block of a Morehouse try, or of a Warman try. Alfano to Gaynor. 2:16 to play, Hope by 24. Powell off the dribble, works against Wiegering, giving up a substantial amount of height, reverses it from the other side of the basket, and Dequan gets himself to the line.
Good hustle from Powell.
Hope gonna bring 4 new faces in. Alma will get Ty Griffin into the game as well. Powell with 2 tries here, misses on the first. Hope gets Brady Swinehart in. We see his dad, Scott, across the way. Of course, Ionia High School basketball coach. So Swinehart in, Ethan Crabtree out of Coldwater enters the action. Carson Sanders in there as well. Powell's second free throw good. And then also Justice Mims out of Rochester Adams. Mims making his 8th MIAA appearance of the season. Scored 2 against Alma the first time. Hope through traffic to Sanders against the pressure. Cross court over to Leaper. And now Crabtree. Mims dribbles to his left, picked up by Griffin for Alma, drives in, up and under, and lays it in. Nice 2 from Justice Mims, taking advantage of the chance to get in the game here
good
late.
Speed right there.
Xavier Glenn to Elliott. He'll fire the off-balance 3, try to use the window, comes up well short on that though. Sanders up the floor, stolen away by Elliott, got back and forces the turnover instead.
It was a good hustle right there.
Hope by 25, last minute and a half here. Alma going to use this opportunity to get a couple more faces in. Glenn hands off to Griffin. Griffin over to Alfano. A little ball fake, drives into the lane, stumbles, hands it off to Glenn. Shot clock down to 10. Glenn knocked away but fouled. Oh, an offensive foul on Xavier Glenn instead. Good job by Mims to take the charge. Alma gets Cleveland Baker into the action. His first game since December. And we see Gage Kruger in there as well, along with Cam Groff. 76-51, Hope a minute and 10 seconds away from the win here. Dribbling to his left is Crabtree. Stops in the lane, kicks it over to Mims. Mims picked up by Baker, drives, puts it up, blocked. And Helma sends it the full length of the floor to Kruger. Layup blocked away as well, but Glenn there with the putback, and he gets those points we talked about. Swinehart, a former star at Ionia, gets it off now to Crabtree. 41 seconds to go in the game. Hand off Mims. Swinehart on a backdoor cut. Mims didn't see him. Handed off instead down the lane. Leaper running try, no good. Rebounded there, Crabtree, and he's fouled on the putback. I think Baker got a piece of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Baker from Indian River Inland Lakes High School, Toppinabee, Michigan. Tiny little town on the west side of Mullet Lake.
It is not a big one.
Crabtree at the line, misses on the first. Tore his ACL in high school. You see that big brace on his left leg. Was able to get in and score a final basket, though, to round out his high school career down in Coldwater. Comes up short on the second free throw, though. Kruger the rebound, and we're into the final 30 seconds. Baker speeding up the floor, passes it over. Left side three-point try. Kruger no good. Rebound out of the reach of Glenn. And the ball now loose down underneath. Alma still continuing to keep the pressure up. Swinehart into the front court, almost gets run over by Griffin, who just stays out of the way. Hand off Leaper, 7 seconds to go. Dropped underneath, and I think the call came from the bench not to shoot.
Yep.
Otherwise, that would have been an easy bucket for Carson Sanders. And time will run out, 76-53, the final. Hope gets the victory, moves to 12-8, 6-3 in the MIAA. Alma drops to 5-15, 2-7. Teams will head through the handshake line. We'll pause briefly, come back with a post-game show right after this.